Reset and Habit Design, Goal Setting that Survives Real Life, brought to you by Prescriptive Health Solutions. As we jump into today's message, the key thing to focus on is that we are not setting goals. We're designing habits that still work even on the messiest of days. We also want to address why goals often fail in these chaotic situations. So really understanding that there are limitations and how we work with those limitations. So why do rigid goals fail? Traditional goal setting often assumes a stable environment, yet real life is frequently unpredictable and chaotic. Studies show that strict goal adherence can falter when unexpected challenges arise, as rigid goals often lack flexibility and adaptability. Now, approximately 80% of New Year's resolutions that we all make fail by February. And this highlights the difficulty of maintaining goals when life's messiness intervenes. Now, this failure is often linked to an inability to adjust goals to shifting priorities and external disruptions. There's such a thing as willpower depletion curve. Research indicates that willpower is a finite resource that depletes with use, and this is a concept known as ego depletion. Traditional goal achievement heavily relies on willpower, and it leads to burnout and relapse. On average, individuals can maintain high willpower for only short bursts before fatigue sets in. Behavioral psychology suggests that relying solely on willpower is unsustainable for long-term success, especially under stress or fatigue. So as we look at this depletion curve, it starts out with a fresh start and high control, then begins to dip early and then goes into a mid-phase fatigue and then burnout and relapse. We know there are limits of motivation. Motivation is inherently variable and influenced by mood, energy levels, and external circumstances. Studies show that motivation alone accounts for only 35% of behavioral change success, with habits and systems playing an even greater role. Some of the common pitfalls include procrastination when motivation dips, an over-reliance on inspiration, and lack of systematized practices, which lead to inconsistent progress and just abandoning of goals. So let's look at goals versus sustainable habits. Emerging research in behavioral science emphasizes that habits are more effective than goals for enduring change because they automate behaviors and reduce the cognitive load in our brains. Now, habit forming anchors behavior in consistent cues and routines. And this enables sustainable progress despite our motivation fluctuations. Now, longitudinal studies also show that habit-focused interventions improve our adherence by over 50%, and this is compared to goal-only strategies. So let's take a look at resilient daily habits. Resilient habits essentially are easy habits. They don't take much time or energy, and you don't have to think hard about doing them. They fit into what you already do each day. They stick even when life gets stressful because they're almost automatic. Your environment or routine triggers them, like brushing your teeth triggers flossing. Two especially strong types are micro habits and keystone habits. Micro habits are tiny actions that are so small that you'll actually do them, like drinking water or taking deep breaths. Keystone habits are a habit or one particular habit that helps other good habits happen too, like regular sleep or exercise, making everything else easier. Some examples are simple, repeatable actions like drinking a glass of water daily or doing 1 to 2 minutes of breathing or quiet mindfulness exercises. Making a habit easier to start makes you more likely to stick with it. Simplifying habits lowers the activation energy required to start a behavior. What this does, it increases consistency. Research suggests that reducing steps, decreasing decision fatigue, and preparing the environment, like having your workout clothes ready, can improve habit adherence by up to 40%. Go with the 2-minute rule. Start with habits that take less than 2 minutes. This makes it easy to adhere to. Your surroundings play a big role in whether habits stick. If you set up your space to make the right choice easy, the habit starts to happen almost automatically. For example, keeping healthy snacks where you can see them can help people choose them more often. Some studies suggest by about 25%. Habits also get triggered by cues like the time of day or even how you're feeling. And these cues can kick off a behavior without you thinking much about it at all. Now we know not everything works in our favor. So let's take a look at habits in disruption. Being flexible with your habits matters the most when life gets disrupted, like during illness or when you're traveling. Instead of quitting, adjust the habit or do a smaller version of it for a while. That makes you much more likely to keep the habit long term. Studies from the pandemic found that people who adapted their habits kept positive behaviors more often, in fact, about 60% higher. So the idea is to match your goals to what's realistic right now, not to stick to an all or nothing plan. Tracking progress without rigid goal metrics is about reflecting on habit effectiveness in real life scenarios. This means we are measuring, reflecting, and adjusting our habits for long-term sustainability. Let's look at flexible progress tracking. We use flexible ways to track our habits so we can see progress without feeling the pressure by strict goals. This might be journaling or counting streaks or noting our mood, especially times of day, whether it triggers an eating habit or might be triggering us to not want to go to work out. So this type of tracking helps us notice patterns, helps us stay aware of what's working and what's not. And it also helps keep our motivation up. This helps make habits stick longer. So instead of only measuring results, focus on the process. Like, did I show up? Did I do the small step? This helps us keep engaged. Take time to reflect regularly, whether it's weekly or monthly, whatever works well for you. This reflection will help you see how the habit fits into your real life situation. It can also spot what's getting in the way and also help you adjust your plan so it stays realistic, useful, and successful. As we close, traditional goal setting often falls short amidst life's unpredictability. Resilient habits are small, low effort actions that fit naturally into your routine, making them easier to start and more likely to stick, especially under stress. Simplify the habit by reducing steps and decisions. Set up your environment with clear cues and use quick 2-minute entry points to keep momentum going. When life disrupts your routine, and it will, scale back instead of quitting and stay on track with flexible tracking and regular reflection so you can adjust, learn, and keep going long term. Best of luck to you. Thank you so much for joining us today. This is Prescriptive Health Solutions.